Good afternoon to you all. I welcome all the participants. Sorry for that technical error. I welcome you all once again in the third session of day 4 of this 1-week FTP. And this was a highly awaited session for all of us because we have an extremely senior and extremely resourceful resource person, I must say. We have Professor Surakshpal Madam. It is a request for participants to please mute their mics. Sure, ये सेशन उन सबका सबमिशन ही होगा और इसी के साथ मैं डॉक्टर सुरभि सिंगल से रिक्वेस्ट करती हूँ कि मैडम इस सेशन को प्रिसाइड करें. Madam, please.
Thank you, Dr. Vatsala. It's my pleasure to welcome such an eminent speaker on this platform. सुरक्षापाल मैम के इंट्रोडक्शन की किसी को कोई आवश्यकता नहीं होगी. मैम अपने आप में ही इतनी अच्छी रिसोर्स पर्सन है. But it's my duty to introduce our guest, our today's speaker. So, Madam was a professor and head Department of Education. She served as Dean Faculty of Education in CCS University, Meerut. If we'll talk about the areas of specialization of the ma'am, so these are educational technology, educational measurements, and teacher education. The administrative experience of Madam is very wide. Madam had been head Department of Education. With this, Dean Faculty of Education, Madam was the member of Executive Council. Ma'am was the member of the Purchase Committee of the CCS University for the 2 years. Madam was a member of the Examination Committee of the CCS University from 1998 to 2001, and from the 2004 continuing. Ma'am was the coordinator of so many refresher courses in the year 2001, 2002, and 2003. Ma'am was the chairperson of B.Ed admissions. Ma'am was the convener of B.Ed admissions with conducting counseling sessions for the B.Ed during the 1999 to 2003 and 2004. Ma'am was the convener of the B.Ed panel as an inspector in the inspection of the CCS University. Ma'am has directed and ma'am was the convener of the B.Ed, BPEd, MPEd under the self-financing programs during the year 2004 and 2005. Ma'am is the convener of the various Board of Studies in Education in CCS University, and right now ma'am is the member of Board of Studies in several institutions, several universities also. Ma'am is the member of Selection Committee for the teachers and third-class employees for the university. Ma'am has successfully supervised more than 45 PhD theses, in which more than 5 students have been awarded with the degree, and many are working. Ma'am कहना तो चिराग को उजाला दिखाने के बराबर है. आपका साथ होना ही हमारे लिए वह कल्प वृक्ष है जो हर बाग में नहीं उगता, मगर खुशनसीब हैं वो जिनकी जो आपकी छाया में रहते हैं। तो इसी के साथ हम आज मैम से रिक्वेस्ट करेंगे कि आज का सेशन मैम स्टार्ट करें। ओवर टू यू मैम।
मैडम शायद आपकी माइक म्यूट है।
मैं करता हूँ मैडम, कोई नहीं, डोंट वरी, मैं आता हूँ।
Sorry for this little interruption. I'm really so happy to appreciate the choice of the theme which has been chosen for reskilling teachers in the light of NEP 2020. It is important in the context that the observations of those who have formulated this NEP 2020 has been very, very voluminous and painful. This policy has just come after 34 years. Say, it's a philosophy, its philosophy is Indian, its commitment is forwarding, and its promises are to be globalized education and to become a knowledge superpower. Definitely then, NEP 2020 has certain dreams, certain expectations, certain promises, certain observations to make, and accordingly, they have come out with overhauling the total system of education. In 1964-66, there was a commission named as Kothari Commission, which says the opening sentence of that commission is, "The destiny of a nation is shaped in her classrooms." Actually, the destiny is related to the young force transformation, young force empowerment, young force development. That is how the young minds, the students, they are trained, they are educated, they are nurtured, they are developed, they are grown up into a full-fledged, self-fulfilling, empowered human being who will not be having degrees, education and qualifications, but they will make themselves relevant to society. After all, education is for what? To make education use for solving the problems and challenges which a student faces after leaving a college or a university. If that is not done, then naturally education has no meaning. So just because of rote memorization, which was a specific feature of preceding years, poor quality of research, poor employment, cultural damage of society, financial silos, cultural silos, value degradation, all these impediments, they have made human mind infertile. They have made human mind less inquisitive, lazy, unresponsive, unaccommodating, not growing. So that is a greater risk for any nation. If we have to be the part of knowledge generation at a global level, we have to revise, revitalize, restructure, remodify the current system of education. So it's not that the previous commissions and policies, 1986, then revised in 1992, they have not done anything. They also spoke of such things. They were sensitive about such problems, but not all have been responded well. There could be many other reasons, certain within the system, certain outside the system, and certain within the individual, and certain inadequacy of formulating or deciding the pathways. So there could be so many reasons why we have not been successful, our country has not been successful to achieve those goals. So you may be otherwise also, if you see, we have a lot of responsive and resourceful infrastructure, good building, good curriculum, many other things. But the most icon of this whole system of education, who has the power, only power to bring change, to make change effective, to empower the minds, to ignite the minds, to create an inquisitive environment for learning. That is, if not there, no education system will survive. So it is only through teacher who is respected, viewed, understood, given a responsibility, and made to have a feel of accountability, to make a change, to translate the spirit of these policies into reality, to give direction to the young generations, and to provide very positive, constructive input to the development of students' personality to the level of our expectation and to the level of their realization of maximum potential they have. So it is the only teacher who can make change. It's so nice on part of NEP that the founders, they have envisioned, realized, rationalized, and felt the importance of teacher into the whole system of education. You may have a very good qualitative curriculum. It's so dispirited. What can you do of it with this, unless there is someone to transact it, unless there is someone to communicate it, unless someone to make it happen in reality, unless someone to impress upon the minds the philosophy, the ethos, the values, the quality of knowledge with different domains, like as NEP also says, multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, multilingual, so many things. So nothing can be possible without teachers. So, and we felt the teachers were taking this profession as a last resort. When they were not adjusted anywhere, they opted to become a teacher. But I say, teaching is not everybody's cup of tea. It's philosophy, it's pedagogy, it's imperatives, its goals, its structure is so comprehensive, and it touches, is related to every aspect of human thinking. The vibrant mind can communicate the vibrant knowledge to its recipients, to students. So, teacher, for the first time now, after such a long time, previously we used to say Guru Vishnu, Guru Brahma, Guru Devo Maheshwara. Such kind of imagination we had. And still we, at this age, we also remember our teachers who made them so as we are. So teacher has a great contribution to make in the life of a student, and NEP has recognized that. So our teacher who had become outdated, who had ignored the interest in teaching, they were having teaching as a profession, but they were not sensitive about their professional responsibilities of teaching. So then outdated teachers, what could they produce? So the classroom environment was very passive. It was teacher-dominated class. There was no challenge, no creativity, whereas there are three major functions of education. The first function is the preservation of knowledge. A teacher must be aware of the knowledge which has been preserved, and what knowledge he creates that should also be preserved. The second is transformation. We pass this knowledge from one generation to other generation. The third is creation of knowledge. And as such, if you see, the higher education also has three main functions. The universities have three major functions. One is teaching, another is research, and third is extension. These three functions, they very well resemble the major functions of education as such. So the purposes of education can only be handled, responded with the help of a teacher. So the question of reskilling teachers become very pertinent in the present scenario. Reskilling means, because with the degrees and knowledge acquisition, you can get a job. Getting a job is not a challenge as much as it is when you enter into the profession, when you start teaching. It is more challenging. And this challenge can be met with the knowledge, skill, attitude, competencies, positive perceptions, and skills, which are very much necessary for the teachers to adopt. So NEP aspires for bringing quality education. And this quality is directly related to the quality of a teacher. If teacher has not the potential, if the teacher has not a passion, he will not be searching. He will not search for various resources from where he can get knowledge, from where he can empower himself, from where he can grow himself, from where he can get that knowledge so that it may modify his attitude. So the teacher himself has occupied such a significant role. You just go back, Takshila, Nalanda, teachers were multidisciplinary. Teachers were so knowledgeable. The whole world used to salute those teachers. And now the new education policy, which is totally Indian, the first Indian policy, has come out with radical changes, not only in the structure of education, not only in school education, but in higher education, also in number of ways, because this FDP program, which has been scheduled for a week, is concentrated only on reskilling of teachers. So I will not go beyond that, but there are so many other things which are special, which are specific, which are peculiar, which are attractive, which are guiding, which are directional, which is I can say perspective for future generation in this policy. So we are very proud to have this policy in 21st century. It's first policy of 21st century. Definitely will provide a way, it will be a torch-bearing, having a torch-bearing impact on formulating various pathways of success, which will sustain for a long. Now we talk of sustainable goals of education. So whatever goal, quality education is a goal which has to be sustained for long. If you have to have a stable society, if you have to have a human society, if you have to have a society of living communities of knowledge, if you want to have a knowledge society, learning society, so professional society, technical society, if a society who will be blooming in all its arts, in all aspects. So that is only possible when we have energized teachers, we have motivated teachers, we have innovative teachers, we have teachers who do not get degrees to get a job, but to serve as a passion, to serve a society, to create a job for themselves, and to create an environment of continual, lifelong learning. I'm reminded of, there was one report by UNESCO, Deller's report. The report talks of 4 pillars of education. One is learning to learn. Can't happen without teacher. Learning to be can't be realized without learning to do. learning to do, which will make students enterprising, creative, vocationalized, and competent, and learning to live happily together. This is the main thing which is also lacking in our social life, in the life of organizations, and in the life of a student. We refrain from maintaining good interpersonal relations, whereas the research says that we learn more by group discussion. We learn more when we solve peers' problem, students' problem, peer conflict resolutions. We learn more how to structure our life space, how to restructure our life space to accommodate the changing circumstances and maintain internal peace and harmony. Because knowledge, if we gain, that culminates into creativity. Creativity leads to thinking, and thinking leads to generation of knowledge. So this generation of knowledge is not possible without the interaction, a happy interaction, a warm interaction, a cordial interaction, a productive interaction, mutually influensive interaction between student and teachers. So the NEP perspective of reskilling teachers is significantly emphasizes upon those modalities, those strategies, those domains, those dimensions of teacher which always interact with the students in a class and outside the class. It is the impact of a teacher which does not stop to be felt within the four walls of classroom, but it goes beyond. And that is why now we talk of metacognitive knowledge. Metacognitive knowledge, the knowledge which is cognitive, and that goes beyond when you start thinking out of the box, when you start thinking beyond what you know, what exists really now, that stimulate your thinking and you go beyond. So meta means metacognitive understanding, metacognitive skills, metacognitive knowledge that is strengthened, that is made possible to enjoy with the help of a teacher. So NEP perspective is very productive. It's a flexible. It provides autonomy to teachers. It provides a research culture, a research climate in the class. May it be research, action research, applied research, and other research projects, which deals with or which provides the insight into what are the various domains which can influence student engagement, student learning outcome, students' empowerment of knowledge, skill, and competency, and students' empowerment for entrepreneuring. So we are not going to produce the students who will not be capable of creating an environment of job for themselves. They have to be good citizen. They have to be creator of job. They have to be a good researcher. And they have to prove as an economic booster for our country to be productive, to be innovative, to generate knowledge. So every bit of knowledge, we are just witnessing the changes in every aspect of human society that are taking place just moment by moment. This time you just see Google, you find something, another second you find some other thing in the same area. So see how fertile the people in the world are, how concerned they are, how creative they are, how greatly they are involved to generate, to think, to ponder upon, generate new ideas, new theories, providing new rationalizations, new dimensions to their understanding, creating a new ambience, the intellectual ambience for the whole world to think and reflect. So the teacher's responsibility is not only to teach. It's not only to teach and communicate. It's to impress upon. It is to influence their mind, carry forward, make them go ahead, to reflect so that they become confident, they become competent, and when they leave, they are different people when they entered the institution. So that kind of an imagination NEP has for the young generation and for teachers, because it is there. And therefore, many important domains which are very important, NEP has touched. It has come out with service conditions. It has come out with what programs should be organized to motivate them, to engage them, to energize them, to stay in the profession. They have made national professional standards for teachers. They have formulated how the recruitment procedure should be adopted. They have also evolved criteria which will be regularly editing, so not editing, but auditing, the intellectual auditing, the performance auditing will be done continuously. So thereby a teacher will assess themselves at every step, and they will speculate, just like a SWOT analysis. They will find what are my strengths, what are my weaknesses, what are the challenges before me, and how to meet these challenges. So every step will make them to have this analysis, and this is how they will get refined, they will get sophisticated, they will go higher. जैसे हम कहते हैं कि हम जो है मनुष्य से देवत्व की ओर जाते हैं, ऊर्ध्वगामी, हम कैसे ऊर्ध्वगामी बनेंगे देवत्व की ओर? देवत्व doesn't mean देवता. Devatva means ownership of knowledge. Devatva means enlightenment. Devatva means development of inner consciousness, identification of that inner consciousness with the kind of knowledge we produce. And there were different types of knowledges. Disciplined mind that create disciplines, related knowledge, creative mind, spiritualized mind. Spirituality is not that we are just talk of God all the time and universe, not that. Spiritualized means you have to fly free in any direction with potential wings, with the spirit of searching, with the spirit of discovering. There is no end. So the teacher has to spiritualize that knowledge. So I just wanted to bring into light that NEP perspective of a skill has a great philosophy, has a great commitment. Everything is useless unless teachers are not comfortable, unless teachers refrain from teaching responsibility. If teachers are not creative, they are not innovative, they are not research-minded, they are neither good for themselves, nor they are good for their own students, and they will spoil the knowledge landscape of our country. So may it be knowledge preservation, maybe social transformation, maybe enrichment of values, maybe any other aspect of human behavior that is shaped and regulated, developed by teachers. So moving from that perspective, which the NEP has for reskilling teachers, that perspective further leads to categorize what type of various type of skills now required, in which we want our teachers to reorient, to re-empower, to re-professionalize, to reorganize, to restructure. Reskilling means restructuring, reorganizing the self of a teacher. So this reskilling into different domains of skills. For example, there may be cognitive skills. Cognitive skills, they are required to deal with the subject. They are critical thinking, creative thinking, problem solving. All these skills, they are cognitive skills. Cognitive flexibility, cognitive resonance, cognitive potential, how to nurture them, how to reskill our teachers into this domain of skills, cognitive skills. Now, I'm just reminded of one psychologist, Biggie and Hunt. Biggie and Hunt, he talks of three types of stages through which teaching flows. One is conceptual. Another is implementational. And third is reflective. So this cognitive flexibility of a teacher will move from this conceptualization to reflection. When this conceptualization is there, it is supposed to be the most lowest level of thinking, and reflective is the most highest order of thinking. So when we talk of strengthening cognition, concepts, theories, knowledge building, understanding them, see how these cognitive concepts can be used, how they can be developed. It was always important, no doubt. But in the present scenario, when we talk of quality education, when we talk of meaningful education, when we talk of enriched learning, when we talk of enlightened learning, that is possible only through this is flow. Conceptual, implementational, and then a reflection. So reflection involves problem solving. It involves creative thinking, critical thinking, analytical thinking. Use of that knowledge, it has a leveraging effect with which you created further knowledge. So when you reach at the level of reflection, your mind enjoys dwelling into abstractions and derive facilitative conclusions, solutions from that abstraction, from that abstractization. So this is one aspect. This I just call it the cognitive skills. Another skills which are called as psychosocial skills, psychosocial domain. As I just mentioned, with degrees you can get into a job, but if you have to survive as a teacher, then you have to be very soft, very rhythmical, very warm, having a great warmth of love, compassion, cooperation, acceptance, harmony within the classroom. Because we always see that when we are in harmony, when we are in peace, we create more. And when we are in disharmony, either we cease to produce, or under compulsion, if we produce, that is not qualitative, not meaningful, not effective, not acceptable, not attractive, not enjoying. So we want our classroom to be facilitative, engaging, interacting, responsive, self-motivating, nourishing, happy, and joyful. Only then students will not feel learning as a burden. They will not evade their classes. We all know it very well. Radha Krishnan was a great teacher. When he used to teach, he used to speak extempore. The flow of ideas came out of his deep sense of realization and oneness of his spiritualized thinking on certain issues. The flow of ideas was so challenging, so unavoidable for students and the audience that they forget the sense of time, sense of place, sense of hunger, because when you get something of your own choice and taste, it makes you satisfied. It removes your hunger. It's your academic hunger. It is your intellectual hunger. That defeats your physical hunger also. because everything starts from your mind. So that kind of a teaching, that kind of a teacher are required today to translate the vision and mission of NEP 2020. Then we have a Bharat of our own dreams. We will feel pride of being Indian. We are proud of knowledge. We are proud of our culture. We are proud of our people. We are proud of our achievement. And there are so many other things for which we can feel proud of. It's a country, a beautiful country, beautiful culture, art, scriptures, music, knowledge, everything. What is not? Science is there, technology is the amalgamation of great scientists. They are so soft, they create art and music. And that is why this NEP has now removed this segregation among the subjects and given a full autonomy to students to make a choice of any subject which they like, any subject which can make them reach their, make up to their maximum potential, and then they may be beneficial for society. So multidisciplinary character requires teachers also to be multidisciplinary. So these social domain requires such skills like cooperation, collaboration, ethical reasoning, compassion, decision-making, leadership, harmony, organization. All these things, communication, these are the aspects which require such type of skills to be developed in our teachers. How to collaborate, how to cooperate, how to make and create a collaborative environment in the classroom, so that students can get maximum benefit of classroom teaching. The another domain which is very much important is technological. Technology has two, hardware and software. In education, in behavioral sciences, we are more concerned with software technology. When we talk of e-learning, when we talk of e-content, when we talk of internet, when we talk of computer competence, computer literacy competence, when we talk of internet, we talk of social sites, YouTube, Google, and others. We talk of cloud computing, mobile learning, all such things. They are technological in nature, and teacher is expected to develop a skill as to how to blend them, how to integrate them with their classroom teaching. Here I will just make a reference to a newly emerging skills that are required on the part of teacher. For example, augmented reality skill, augmenting skills, how you augment, explain the digital informations to influence your own understanding of the subject and understanding of the communication of that subject. Similarly, immersive skill, immersive learning skill. Now, because the learner today is a different in nature, there always continue to be a generation gap. The generation of students today is greatly influenced by the various learning resources readily available to them everywhere, anytime to them. So from different sources, if they tap different sources, they get one thing from here, another thing from there, another thing from there. So they get confused. It is the teacher now who will amalgate all these sources and teach them in the class. He may show videos also in the class. He may hold simulations, a role playing. He may make them hear YouTube lectures. There are different kind of blogs available. So different kind of sources, EE sources, are available. A teacher must have a skill to integrate them all together and finally see how the conclusive impact may be extended to influence the understanding of the learner. Because NEP talks of holistic development. It's cognitive, it's affective, it's cognitive, in all its head, hand, and mind. All in all respects, NEP promises to bring a holistic impact of education on the development of student personality. So teacher has to be equipped, teacher has to be empowered. He should be motivated to reskill, to change the existing skills. They should learn how to first unlearn the new old skills and learn to have a new skills. Learn to learn new skills and learn to unlearn the existing. So the existing, if you find they are useful, they can be maintained, but they have to be strengthened by adopting new pattern, new range, new pathways of skills. So this is the technological domain where reskilling is required. There is another domain, that the domain of classroom management. Classroom management. It's though the discussion or the talk or what we are talking about by now, it is all about teaching and learning. You will realize it's an ocean. It's an ocean. And those who will go deep, having deep dig into that, will come with precious pebbles to enjoy teaching. So teaching, learning require teacher, learner, classroom environment. All these three, they have become so important in the life of a teacher and the students that if they don't understand and become competent in making use of them, the learning outcomes which we want to achieve, they cannot be. The course objectives cannot be achieved. So this management, the classroom management is very important. That is how to maintain, how to plan, how planning skills. We have to learn planning skills. We have to learn leading skills, how to lead. We have to learn maintaining skills, controlling skills, and then we have to learn feedback skills, how to provide a feedback. Because in higher education, students are very grown up. They are already so much aware of so many things. And it is not so easy to make them motivated and make them interested into learning. It is always imperative to develop a mechanism of feedback which will certainly modify their thinking behavior. So these are managerial. And when we plan, we perceive ourselves, we all are teachers, or even those who are not teachers, they will be teachers. If then when they will go to class, before going to class, they have to have a skill to prepare. Teacher starts teaching not only within the classroom only, but when he is at home or in a college or in a library before going to a class. So the way he plans, the planning is a mapping. The planning is a decision making. The planning is visualize the diversity that is there in the class. So that kind of a planning skills. So that is planning. And then there is another stage, that is interactive stage, where we make use of all such type of strategies, methodologies, pedagogies. And then another is post-active, when it becomes a reflective stage. So these are certain areas where the reskilling of teachers is required. But there are, along with this, there are certain pedagogic challenges before us, before education, and before teachers. The very first pedagogic change is that we resist change. We resist change. We are not so eager to accept the change. We resist change. Without change, adaptability cannot happen. If adaptability is not there, transformation may not happen. If transformation is not there, empowerment will not take place. When there is no competence developed, they will not face the real situation in life. So it's not so simple. We have to be very careful about it. We must not resist change. We must accept the change. And we must make ourselves ready to accept the change. The another resistance, I must say, or the pedagogic challenge is the infrastructure. In most of the institutions, infrastructure, for example, the smart classroom and many other gadgets which are required for online programs to see, they are not available. This is another resistance, another challenge. The other challenge is the students, teachers lack competence in integrating technology into their classroom teaching. They are not so skilled. Next challenge is to attend to the diversities, because it's an inclusive class full of diversities. So we have to have inclusive skill trained teachers. So that is a great challenge before us. The another challenge before teachers is a research culture, research environment that is lacking. There is no scholarship, there is no incentive. If teachers want to go somewhere, they are not very easily allowed. So there are certain resistances on the part of system also. So if that is there, the mission of NEP may little bit have to be seen with a question mark. The another challenge before is as to how to create. They are not efficient in making learning communities. Ours is a knowledge society. So unless we create a learning societies, the lifelong education, the concept of lifelong education will be defeated. So these are certain challenges because there is a paucity of time. I wanted to elaborate them more, but I'm so sorry to brief them. So these challenges are there. If you have to meet these challenges, what a teacher should do, what an organization must do, why the rules and regulations are required, that has to be seen. And only then we can say that by following all these, we can reskill our teachers. For example, evidence-based learning. A teacher must produce evidences in the class. Then only he may think innovatively as to how to give new orientation to the content which I am presenting before the students. The another way of enhance their knowledge. Another is future-oriented skill realization. They should realize that if they do not reskill themselves, they will cease to be a good teacher and they may lose their jobs sometimes. This kind of environment should be there. Then they should try to meet the national professional standard criteria for teachers. Whatever is said, they should follow them, that criteria, and self-analysis is required on the part of teachers. So workshop or seminars, write-ups, write a blog, research papers, research articles, peer discussion, group आपस में, all the teachers, they can sit together, may realize if there is some problem, let us together discuss, and we can have mutual advantage of their perceptions and come out with a good suggestion and good solution. So there are different ways. PDPs, very continuous professional development for 50 hours, NEP recommends. That is also very good initiation on part of the organizations of NEP. Similarly, there are other ways also that we can make use. We teachers may become sensitive towards 21st century skills like creativity, leadership, communication, decision making, ethical reasoning, critical thinking, personal responsibility, all such. These are different 21st century skills which are required on the part of teacher to be sensitive of. So such things, such considerations we have to have for our personal development, for our personal enrichment, because we cease to be in a profession if we do not update yourself, upgrade yourself, if we stop to be innovative, if we stop further readings. A teacher should develop a regular habit of learning, regular habit of studying. The day a teacher stops reading, his growth stops on the very same day. So he should be regular in studying and must be capable of handling the digital environment resources for their own development. So with these observations and the things which I have shared with you all, I know all of you are so much aware of every aspect of new education policy, because it has become a talk of gullies, mohallas, neighborhoods, institutions, among within and outside the institutions, that everyone is very much aware of this new education policy. So it's not something new, but I just wanted to reorient your channel of thinking, because it is reskilling of teachers that is very much required. So thank you very much for giving a patient hearing to somehow what I could share with you. And lot of thanks to Professor Navneet, who is always very humble. And I have, even in simple talk, I have found him very much prone to learn, experience. And that is why I think his total personality is very harmonious. He has a pleasant reflection of humble scholar. Surbhi, I'm so thankful to her also. She's also very much grossly involved into making all these lectures happen very well, persuaded each and every speaker, and make all gigantic and very humble effort, a very humble request. So sometimes these things make one's happy and give them inner pleasure. So that is her beauty, I think. So I'm so thankful to her also. Vatsala to everyone, and she very softly illustrate, explains, and sometimes exaggerates the speaker's potentials and qualities. So I'm so thankful to everyone for listening me, giving me this pleasure of interacting with you. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. My dear friends, we are on the middle of this journey. We are in the middle of this journey of 7 days FDP program. We had number of resource persons and had experience of different subjects, starting from science, arts, humanities, technology, pharmacy, etc. But one thing I would like to share here and ensure here that अभी जो आप लोगों ने लेक्चर सुना है, शायद उससे अच्छा लेक्चर इस एफडीपी में नहीं सुना होगा और बहुत सारे लोगों ने अपनी लाइफ में भी नहीं सुना होगा। जैसा लेक्चर मैम ने दिया, ये हम लोग का प्रिविलेज है कि मैम ने हमारी इनविटेशन को एक्सेप्ट किया और यहाँ पर लेक्चर देने के लिए टाइम निकाला। एंड वन थिंग आई वुड लाइक टू मेंशन ओवर हियर दैट मैम वाज सो बिजी एंड एग्जैक्टली एट 2 o'clock मैम केम टू आवर डिपार्टमेंट। शी वाज रनिंग दैट आई हैव टू जॉइन ऑन टाइम। So this is the beauty of the senior persons. They have value of their time. They have value of the other person's timings. My dear friends, it is not your privilege, but our privilege that we are listening ma'am, and ma'am had always been like a, I would say, a mentor figure for the people. Always in the university, ma'am is the, as Dr. Sudhi told you, ma'am is the emeritus professor at IIMT University and the advisor also. So ma'am is always in the mentor position. Whenever we people face any problem, any hurdle, any guidance, ma'am is always ready and we don't hesitate to call her even in the night. This is the affection she is having with we people. And not only we people, she is open to all of the faculty members, all the non-teaching staff of the university at any time, any cost. You know, whenever a person speaks, a single sentence is the gist of his or her 40 years, 50 years experience, faces, charms, and other problems which he or she has faced. This is very much proved over here in ma'am lecture that whatever you are listening, whatever you are saying, that has some meaning. Sometimes we listen ma'am in other programs also, and ma'am is so humble and so I would say down to earth that sometimes people ask who is she. In the offline program, sometimes they will ask us who is she. Then tell her that she is the advisor of IIMT University and this is the credentials of ma'am. Ma'am is from CCS University, worked there for long on this positions. Then they have a shock wave. Ma'am is such a senior person, such a senior credential person, and she is so down to earth. So, my dear friend, this is the beauty of highness. जैसे जैसे हम लोग ऊपर बढ़ते जाते हैं, वैसे वैसे और ज्यादा पोलाइट होते जाते हैं, और ज्यादा हम्बल होते जाते हैं, और सबको अपने अंदर समाहित करने की एक इच्छा डेवलप करते हैं. कैपेसिटी नहीं डेवलप करते बल्कि इच्छा डेवलप करते हैं, और वो ये सारे गुण हमें बहुत अच्छी तरह से देख पाते हैं. और खासकर हम लोग हम लाइफ साइंस वाले में डॉक्टर सुरभि, डॉक्टर वत्सला एंड और भी लोग, हम लोग तो इतने मतलब मैम से कभी कभी एडवांटेज भी ले लेते हैं कि जब मन करता है मैम के ऑफिस पहुंच जाते हैं और गाइडेंस ले लेते हैं. ये प्रिविलेज मैम हम आपसे एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं कि हमेशा बना रहेगा हम लोगों के लिए.
Thank you so much, Navneet ji. Sometimes such good words make persons little bit embarrassed. So I'm just part of you, and from you and amongst you, it is nothing something, because when we meet with each other, you all are so nice, good. So what should I say? Right-minded people with whom I always enjoy talking. So it's your greatness to have felt like this, and you have expressed in such a nice manner. Don't oblige me for that. Don't oblige me. I'm so thankful again. I'm so much privileged to be with you this evening. I really am very happy. Thank you. So I have no words to say the words, the kind words, the words which you have used for me sometimes make me out of place. So thank you so much for such an affection, such a respect, and such a concern.
Our pleasure, ma'am. Our pleasure, ma'am. And secondly, अगर आप एलईपी की पूरी बुक पढ़ते हैं, there is a word mentors. Number of times mentor word is written. but I never find the word mentor's mentor. So ma'am, we all are mentors और आप हमारे mentor हैं तो आप mentors
Thank you
mentor
so
हुए।
much.
तो ये
Thank
हम
you.
लोगों का privilege है और हमें ऐसा लगता है कि हम लोग अभी भी learning phase में हैं जब आप सब लोगों के साथ होते हैं।
It's your humility, what can I say more?
Thank you ma'am.
It's
Thank you.
your humility will make you, will lead you further. Still, this is no where you are here. You have to attain more heights, and with this cult of personality, only we can reach high pedestal. So the
Thank you,
pedestal is a little higher even, and the personality cult, the personal suppositions and beliefs which you have now, they will make you lead to further higher achievements.
Thank
That
you,
will be
ma'am.
more satisfying to me also than when I will listen all these things. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Your blessings. Over to Vatsala ma'am and Surbhi ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir. And so much has been said, ma'am, and I'm too young to say anything, to remark anything. All we can aspire is to, reach somewhat that you have achieved and, learn from all your experience. An experience of over 5 decades, I must tell all my participants and audience who are connected to us right now, and also to those who will be joining us later. Ma'am, it was such a delight to hear you speak, not just today, but every time. We for one, all the members of IIMT get this pleasure every now and then, and you have never relucted, never declined any request till date. And, we really hope that, we take as much from you as it is possible for any living being. Thank you so much, ma'am, for that very wonderful afternoon and sharing so much with us. Thank you, everyone, once again. With this, we also sum up the third session of this 1 week FTP of day 4. And I thank all the participants for their patient hearing. And next session is going to start in another 5 minutes. So there is a small break for people to relax and revigorate themselves. Thank you so much. We are taking a short break now.
Thank you. Thank you. Namaskar.